Hello and welcome to Beachao, and today with me I have the Tata Harrier EV quad wheel drive. This is the top end model of the Harrier EV, and this car created an insane amount of buzz when this car was announced, both with the competition for how well priced it was and also with prospective buyers who wanted to buy this car because of the kind of features that were on offer, the kind of tech that was on offer, and also the amount of performance that was on offer. So today what I'm going to do is break it all down, show you the kind of features it gets on the inside, show you the kind of tech it has on the outside, the comfort, the interiors, as well as take it out on a drive and tell you how it feels to drive. Now on the outside there are a few notable changes, but overall this is still the same platform underneath as the regular ICE variants of the Harrier in terms of its overall chassis and the bodywork that is used. There are a few notable changes, of course. For example, these 19-inch aero wheels which come on this top end quad wheel drive variant. The lower end variants get the 18-inch wheels. Then if you look over here at the front, the grille is also different. This is a typical grille for the EV cars. You can see the grille is completely blocked off because it doesn't need any cooling over there, and over here at the front also you will see a completely different design. The key that comes with the car is actually quite cool. It looks very unique, and this also has, I'm holding it wrong, this is the right orientation of holding the key, and this is where you, if you double press over here, that is how you will be opening the boot. Inside you will see there is actually quite a lot of storage. Underneath over here you also get a spare wheel. Pretty decent amount of storage. I wouldn't say it's the deepest storage available or the deepest boot available. That is because they have provided a spare wheel. In a lot of EVs and a lot of modern day cars, they actually don't provide a spare wheel, so you actually get a lot deeper boot. Now if you look over here, there is a release for the front boot, or the frunk, whatever you want to call it, basically the front storage area, but there is no release for the rear because the rear boot can actually be released from this button over here. Now let me quickly open the front boot. Okay, this is actually quite heavy. So there you go, that is the front frunk area. No, so the wiper and washer fluid is from here. This is, I don't know, I think it's something else. It's for maybe the battery coolant or something, I'm not sure. Then you have something over here. That's how you can access the battery. There's another slot over here. There's another area over here. If you open this, this will open another container. This is, I believe, for the brake fluid refill over here. And over here, you have this flush cover which you open. You'll find a small little shelf, let's say a tray, where you can keep some more luggage. Not very deep. It's 17 kgs max, but it can probably store like a school bag or some small grocery or shopping items. That's pretty much it. Now another thing is that this boot release which is over here will only work when the car is on. If the car is off, this boot release will not work, and your only option is basically this key where you can press and hold on this button. Actually, you got to double press on this button to open the boot. So, okay, I have to come to a different area because जो पहली जगह थी वहाँ से उन्होंने मेरे को भगा दिया because they didn't want us to film over there. Any which ways, I've come to a different parking, and now I want to take you inside the Harrier EV quad wheel drive and show you a little bit of how it looks from the inside. First things first, when you open the door, you see there is a ton of storage over here for 2 bottles for sure. एक तो bottle आ ही जाएगी, plus you can keep a lot more stuff over here. Then you have this kind of leatherette fabric on the doors. These are all dual tone, actually multi-tone for the dashboard, and kind of dual tone interiors for the rest of the place. Now the good thing you notice, first things first, is that this seat as well as this seat, both the front seats are both powered as well as ventilated. So गर्मियों के time में these seats are going to come in really handy to keep you cool. Now one thing I've noticed also about this car is that some of the quality of the plastics could actually have been a little better. They're not bad on the interior, but I definitely feel maybe at this price point the quality could have done with a little better. So it's raining outside, so I'm going to move to the inside of the car. And apart from that, now when you look over here in the center console, यहाँ पे you see what Tata has actually spent and what they have budgeted to give you. This is a massive display. I don't think there is any other size display like this in this segment or even higher. This is also a QHD display, which means it is insanely crisp, it is insanely high resolution, and it is actually paired with a Dolby Atmos sound system from JBL. They have given me a Dolby Atmos demo as well, and I'm telling you, this sounds incredible. It is one of the best sounding cars that I have sat in, not just in this segment but a few segments upar and niche as well. Along with that, you get another display over here which is matte in finish. This is where you get your range, your speed, your different modes, and it basically tells you a lot of information. If you connect your Apple phone or your Android phone, then when you switch to this display, not this one, yeah, this display, you can actually also get like a full screen map view over here as well, which can tell you the direction. So that actually comes in really handy. Then यहाँ पे अगर आप देखोगे, you will find the ORVM adjustments, and over here also when it comes to mirrors, you also have a digital mirror over here. Good thing about this is that digital तो है ही वो, plus it में settings भी आती हैं काफ़ी सारी, and this also acts as a dash cam which will record both front as well as rear onto the memory card which sits somewhere over here. I think इसमें currently 128 GB आता है, but it can be upgraded to 256 also. That's the camera you see over there. This is the front camera over here. पीछे जो shark fin है उसके ऊपर you have the rear camera. The kind of materials that have been used on the inside of the car, on the dashboard and all, are kind of interesting, where you have, I mean, it's majorly everything is plastic only, but they've given it very different unique touch. Like you have this checkered finish for this part of the dashboard. ये जो है आपका थोड़ा soft plastic है, and over here you get this leatherette kind of a wrap or covering on this part of the dashboard. And बीच में जो आपको मिलता है this section is full piano black with a lot of touch buttons. There is more piano black when you look down here as well. यहाँ पे आपको और पियानो ब्लैक दिखेगा. यहाँ अंदर आपको अगर देखोगे तो यू विल गेट अ वायरलेस चार्जर ओवर हियर एज वेल, एंड इफ़ यू लुक ओवर हियर यू विल गेट अ नाइस लिटिल क्यूट सा प्लेस टू कीप योर की. And these are your cup holders, which I find a little scary. Like if I'm having a cold drink over here and वो cold drink का condensation सारा नीचे जाता है, तो basically that's something which is going directly onto my चाबी. तो I am not so sure how that could be. Maybe मैं चाबी ऐसी उल्टी रख दूंगा यहाँ पे या कुछ तो, but like थोड़ा सा टेंशन वाला काम है अगर आप यहाँ पे चाबी भी रखना चाहते हो अपनी और साथ में कोल्ड ड्रिंक्स भी रख रहे हो जो कंडेंस होके पानी जिसका नीचे जाएगा. एनीवेज, दैट इज़ दैट. देन यहाँ पे सेंटर में आपको मिलता है, ये नहीं मिलेगा आपको ऑब्वियसली. दिस जियो यूनिट इज स्पेसिफिकली फॉर दिस मीडिया ड्राइव, बट एज यू कैन सी दिस एरिया इज कूल्ड एंड इट्स डिसेंटली डीप, इट्स नॉट वेरी डीप. यहाँ पे आपको और दो USB पोर्ट्स भी मिलते हैं. वन इज़ अ USB-A और यहाँ पे एक USB-C मिलता है. एंड अनदर गुड पार्ट अबाउट दिस कार इज दैट यू गेट 2 more additional USB पोर्ट्स over here, and this one is actually a high speed 45 kilowatt hour charger, which means not kilowatt hour, 45 watt charger. Now this is actually quite a nice place to sit on the inside. The seats are nice and comfortable. They've got a ton of settings and adjustments. You can take them up, you can take them down, you can save your seats ka memory also. It basically has 3 memory settings for the driver, not so much for the passenger, but at the same time for the passenger seat also has, this is not a function which is of any help to the passenger, it's more for the person sitting behind. So अगर suppose for example आप chauffeur driven हो, so you can basically press this button which is called the boss mode and just throw this seat ahead to create more legroom for yourself at the back. Pretty neat. It's been coming in quite a few cars nowadays, where you can have the entire seat move ahead like this, and what you can also do is you can move the backrest ahead like this as well. तो इसको आप पूरी तरह से basically compact कर सकते हो if you are somebody who likes to be chauffeur driven. Basically folded the entire thing and now you got all of that leg room for yourself to enjoy. चलो leg room से बात होती है पीछे की, तो let's actually go behind, sit in the back seats and see how the leg room back here is. So this is actually a really nice place to be. I am sitting over here for the first time and seats are actually quite nice. The under thigh support is a bit weird because there's like a hump in the center, but the thigh support is pretty decent. I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, the thigh support is pretty decent. This seat is currently at my settings. I am 5'8" और उसके बाद भी मेरे को काफ़ी सारा लेगरूम अवेलेबल है. हेडरूम तो बहुत ज़्यादा अवेलेबल है, टेंशन ही नहीं है. मतलब मैं अगर 6'1", 6'2" या मे बी इवन मोर भी होगा तो भी मुझे प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगी. यहाँ पे आपको एक लाइट मिलेगी. दिस इज़ योर डोर हैंडल. एंड वन रियली गुड थिंग व्हाट टाटा हैज़ डन, आई रियली अप्रिशिएट देम, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर डूइंग दिस, इज़ दैट द AC वेंट इज़ ओवर हियर इनसाइड द पिलर. जनरली ये वाला AC वेंट जो यहाँ रहता है, दैट इज़ द ओनली AC वेंट दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द मैन्युफैक्चरर्स गिव. और उसका प्रॉब्लम ये होता है यार, दैट बेसिकली ब्लोज हवा ऑन टू योर नीज एंड मुंह पे और बाकी की बॉडी पे तो कुछ आता ही नहीं. सो दिस इज़ एक्चुअली, आई फाइंड दिस टू बी अ लॉट मोर इफेक्टिव इन टर्म्स ऑफ कूलिंग यू ओवरऑल. And I really appreciate that Tata has actually done the effort to give the vent over here on, of course, on both the sides. और सेंटर में आपको यू विल नॉट गेट एनी AC वेंट्स, बट सेंटर में आपको मिलता है 265 वाट के चार्जर्स, USB-C चार्जर्स, विच इज़ ऑल्सो रियली गुड बिकॉज दीज आर रियली हाई स्पीड चार्जर्स, विच मीन्स कि अगर आपके बच्चे हैं या तो किड्स आर सिटिंग बेसिकली बिहाइंड, यू विल बी एबल टू चार्ज दैट टैबलेट्स रियली फास्ट. तो वो आपको इरिटेट नहीं करेंगे, अपने टैबलेट चार्ज करके खेलते रहेंगे उसके ऊपर. यू ऑल्सो हैव अ लिटिल बिट ऑफ स्टोरेज स्पेस ओवर हियर एट द बैक. एंड अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट देन यू हैव योर रेगुलर बटन ओवर हियर एट द बैक एंड स्पीकर्स. नाउ one thing which I realized while I was driving this car and something which I wanted to point out, which I kind of didn't like, is here this is the top and oh by the way you also get manual sun blinds. तो एक और चीज़ है which I was seeing about this car which I really don't like, and I don't know, it's not just Tata but a lot of companies don't do this here. The only one pinch down is and one pinch up on the power windows is only for the driver. The rest of the 3 doors don't get a single pinch up or a single pinch down. They should. This is a really nice little quality of life sort of an improvement, which actually, I mean, like, instead of doing this, I can just, and doing that, I can just tap on it once and then get going with my rest of my work. So I think that's a really good quality of improvement, but any which ways that is not there in this car. On top you will also see a massive panoramic sunroof which goes all the way from the front to almost till the top of my head over here at the back. And uske fayde, obviously, you know, you get a lot of light inside the cabin. It feels nice and airy combined with this light texture material on the seats as well as on the roof. अंदर अच्छा एरी फील आता है. यू फील एक्चुअली दैट देर इज़ अ लॉट ऑफ स्पेस, और एक्चुअली काफ़ी स्पेस है भी इधर, बट साथ में यू गेट दैट एक्स्ट्रा फील दैट यू आर सिटिंग इन अ वेरी स्पेशियस कैबिन. गर्मियों के टाइम पे दिस माइट create a lot of heat. There is what you call, there is a blind which you can pull. It's a motorized blind which you can pull on top. That will give you a little relief from the sun, but फिर भी I feel cabin थोड़ा तो गर्म होगा, especially when it is really hot, like 40-45 plus degrees. Otherwise, over here at the back also the combination of materials is nice, the overall feel is nice, but you do still get to touch a few plasticky bits which may not be as per your liking. चलो अब ये सीट तो दिखा दी. I'll just put my bag onto this side. And अब ये वाली सीट पे मैंने ऑलरेडी सामान आगे किया हुआ था. I have already moved this seat ahead. So I just want to show you कि यहाँ पे कितनी जगह मिलती है. This is actually like full proper boss mode. मेरे को इतनी सारी जगह है, मतलब मैं कैमरा पूरा पीछे तक लेके नहीं जा पा रहा हूँ because there is so much of space and distance which I have to create. But look at this here. I am sitting absolutely in majestic comfort. इसको ट्रूली बॉस मोड बोल सकते हो. नाइस कूल प्लेस. ऑल्सो देयर इज अ लिटिल आर्मरेस्ट ओवर हियर इन द सेंटर विथ 2 cup holders का space. Another thing which I want to show you before I move from here is that these rear seats also have these folding headrests. So basically अगर आप यहाँ पीछे बैठ रहे हो and if you want to take a nap, तो not like other cars where you will थोड़ी देर हो ऐसे करके सिर तुम्हारा नीचे गिर जाएगा, तुम्हारा सिर एक ही जगह पे बैलेंस्ड रहेगा and you can actually sit straight when you have your seat belt on, put your hand on the armrest and take like a nice nap without falling over or hurting your neck, spraining your neck. That's really nice. I really like these. Now to the main part of how this car drives. For that I need to go back into the front and take over the steering wheel. Chalo, let's take this car out for a drive now. I really appreciate for the rear passenger, especially if I am the rear passenger, I would really appreciate this boss mode, but I would not appreciate it so much if I am the front passenger, anyone, either the driver or the passenger over here, because every time someone sits and activates that boss mode, I have to manually go and, you know, unfold this seat all the way to its original position, then move it back. That's a lot of work. तो अगर मैं आगे बैठता हूँ जनरली, या तो गाड़ी चला रहा हूँ, मेरे को ये सीट ऐसे OCD है कि वो सीट ऐसे आगे पूरी फोल्डेड है, किसी ने बॉस मोड पे डाली हुई है, तो इट्स गोइंग टू बी समथिंग विच आई एम गोइंग टू बी अ लिटिल अनकंफर्टेबल रादर डूइंग एवरी टाइम. Not a deal breaker, but it's something which I just noticed. Let's drive this thing. So of course, the first thing that you will always realize when you start driving an EV is that it is incredibly quiet. And while I was playing with the settings, I have actually kept this car on drift mode, which is something we don't want, but we can definitely keep it on boost mode. Now what that boost mode does is gives it that entire power of both the front as well as rear motors. First thing you realize when you drive this car is it's actually very quiet over here on the inside. It's supremely quiet. The noise insulation, the NVH in Tata cars, especially the Tata EVs, is something which I have realized is really nice. It actually isolates you from the outside elements, all the noises, the bings, bongs, all the honking and everything, and you are kind of sitting in a cocooned environment where you are actually very comfortable. The second thing you will realize is, apart from this car being very quiet on the inside, is that it is also very comfortable. This is when you're driving normally, it's actually a very serene experience, and when you're out here like I am on the highway, you will also find a lot of the features of this car, like the level 2 ADAS and the other features. Like before I reached here, I was actually engaged with the level 2 ADAS. I had kept it at the speed limit on this road is 120, but I didn't want to go that fast, so I just kept it at 100. And the level 2 ADAS is actually really good, because you can completely let go of the pedals. You can just put your feet back, pull your feet back, and you can just sit and comfortably relax in the car. The good part about the adaptive cruise control in this car is that it will slow down if there is another car which is in front of you. So let's say your ADAS is set at 100, the other car is doing 80, it will slow down automatically and maintain a distance from that car, and then you can just indicate and move into the next lane. If that lane is empty, then it will again build up speed and again get you back to 100. That said though, the reason why most people today are talking about the Harrier EV quad wheel drive is its acceleration. And I am currently, as I mentioned, I started off in boost mode, doing 41 kilometers per hour. I will just put my foot down violently and see how fast I can get to 100. So I'm currently doing 40. Okay, now I'm doing 40. Foot down. 60, 80, 90, 100. Actually, I'm doing 110 now. Don't worry, I'm still in speed limits, because the speed limit for this road, as I mentioned, is 120. But the acceleration in this car is incredibly good. The other thing which I liked about this car is that the steering is also very nicely weighted. It's not a absolutely light steering which you don't know what it's doing. It has a little bit of heft, and that kind of gives you a lot more confidence to keep it in its lane. So in terms of comfort, I think this is like, I have driven almost every Tata car as of date. The Safari, the normal ICE Harrier, now the Harrier EV also. I myself own a Tiago EV. I've driven the Punch. I've also driven the Nexon. So I've driven mostly all of the Tata cars. One thing which stays consistent throughout all of these cars is a very nice suspension setup, a very comfortable suspension setup, and that is something which carries over to the Harrier EV as well. The suspensions on this car are sublime. Let it be you're driving in the city or you're driving out over here on the highway, the suspensions are very comfortable. They give you both the confidence when you're doing high speeds, while at the same time when you're in the city, it also gives you a lot of comfort going over potholes, over bad roads, over speed breakers. It's really good. The suspensions, not just in this car but in most Tata cars, are not set in particular for handling. They are not set in particular for handling in this car as well. On top of it, it is a heavy car. It's, I think, about 2.5 tons. So it is a heavy car. and the suspensions are not going to make it handle. But what they are going to do is make sure that you are comfortable either in the city, on bad broken roads, or even out over here on the highway. So in the past, I have a confession to make. I have not driven a lot of cars with a digital rear view mirror where you have like a screen, and this is kind of a little disorienting for me. I mean, of course, once I get used to it, I would definitely get used to it. But as of now, I do see the display and then I'll start hunting for the actual reflection which is coming from the back. Oh, there's a nice corner here. Maybe I can put it on drift mode. Well, actually not, because while Tata has given this car a drift mode, it's very simple to operate, where you just swipe down on the screen, swipe to the right and swipe to the left, and you will find the option to turn on and off the drift mode. But as far as my experience has gone till now, that drift mode doesn't drift. It definitely would make the car rear biased. It would not make the car rear biased. In fact, it would make the car completely a rear wheel drive car with the entire horsepower that the rear motor can provide. But I do not think it is enough to get the car, the rear wheels break traction, break loose and go sideways, because of two things. One, the weight of the car is a lot for it to completely break traction and go sideways, and the second is that the electronic aids basically just kick in and stop the fun. So while it has a drift mode, it's as good as it's not there, to be honest. So what are my overall thoughts? By the way, this car also has the 360-degree cameras, which are now common, but it also has additional cameras underneath the car. So when you're off-roading, you can actually see if you're not going to hit a rock or if you have smooth surface, and the car can easily clear the obstruction. So it has those extra features for off-roading. Along with that, it also has an off-road cruise control mode. It's kind of like the crawl mode that you have on ICE off-road vehicles, where you can actually set this one up between 6 kilometers per hour to 25 kilometers per hour. I don't think anybody is going to off-road at, I don't know, I'm not that great at off-roading, but I don't think anybody off-roads at 25 kilometers per hour. But yeah, 6 kilometers, 8 kilometers, 10 kilometers per hour, that is the kind of speed that I can understand, where you're crawling and you're going over an off-road sort of a surface. You don't have to keep fidgeting around with the pedals. You just let it roll at a particular speed, let's say 8 kilometers per hour. You just set it and you focus mainly on where you're going, how you're avoiding the obstacles. And I actually did drive this car on a off-road setting, on an off-road course, and I can tell you this for sure, that this car is also pretty capable. Of course, not as much as, let's say, a body-on-frame car would be. That is unreasonable to expect from a monocoque chassis. That said though, let's give it one more try. I am currently doing now 50 foot down. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This is addictive. 90, 100, 110, 120. Another thing which I have noted is that when you are driving in most of the modes, not the off-road modes of course, but if you're driving on the normal mode, the city mode, even if like currently I'm driving on sport mode, the bias of the motor is always at the back. Most of the time when you're driving normally, when you're cruising, you're most of the time using the rear motor and not the front. The front motor, like currently, only when you accelerate hard, both the motors get activated and then the car sticks and gives you that extra bit of horsepower. This is something which I just understood. Boost mode on this car is not available if your battery charge is below 50%. I just hit 50% charge and the boost mode stopped working. So I press boost mode, it says select mode disabled due to low SOC. Thing to note is that if you're buying this car for its boost mode, you have to be above 50% charge and then only you will get the boost mode. Sorry, I had to change my camera angle because the place where I had kept it, Delhi, is so hot today. It's so hot that my camera actually overheated. So I had to place the camera here. Now, one more thing which is really nice about these seats is that the memory seat function not only retains the memory for your seat setting, but it also retains the memory positioning for your mirrors as well. So all the 3 memory seat positions will have their own mirror settings as well. Anyways, I want to now quickly sum it up for you guys. What I think the Harrier EV is actually a really nice product, because just think of it that you're getting like a pretty big, pretty comfortable car, SUV with good ventilated seats, powered seats at the front, a nice comfortable rear seat, lots of boot space, not as much as the ICE, probably a little less, but still quite a lot of boot space, a very efficient motor, which is also, by the way, very powerful as well, with more than 500 Newton meters of torque. And along with that, you're also getting the top of the line features what you can expect from in today's day. Everything from a massive panoramic sunroof to a gigantic screen with Dolby Atmos, with really it's basically very high resolution. It's a QHD display. You get another display over here, you get a digital mirror, you get 5-6 terrain modes, you get multiple terrain modes, you get a boost mode, you get an acceleration of 6.3 seconds from 0 to 100. So as a package, you're actually getting a lot for your money with this car. Should you buy it? Should you not buy it? Now that's completely up to you. But if you're looking for an EV and if you're looking for a car in this price range, I think you should definitely check this car out. You should definitely take this car out for a test drive. Drive it, find out if it is something which you want to live with. I think it's a great car though. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to catch you in the next one. Till then,